Yo, 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 yo,
Yo,
yo.
yo, 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 yo.
Hey.
Hey. What you drinking?
Gotta get that milk. Didn't even get that water.
A lot of people need the human component. We're gonna get into it. A lot of people need more of that human component. If you ever listen. I told you.
What you talking about?
I'm saying that when all this shit is said and done, whatever shit I'm talking about, I'm just talking about whatever turmoil, trials and tribulations that we going through, anybody that's going through it, whenever I'm done with it, I'm ready to fuck the bitch crazy.
I feel you.
No condom on neither. I just gotta clear that up.
You gotta unprotect yourself.
I gotta, cause it's like you can go from protecting yourself and all of a sudden the world goes upside down.
Right.
So it's like, so what are you protecting yourself from? When it's said and done, the world's gonna have its own pre-written subscription for how this shit's gonna end for you and for everyone else. So let's get into the conversation at hand. I gotta admit, I'm the one that brought it up to want to speak. And I see you sipping, you drinking, you eating. So lay back for a second. Let me actually say what I gotta say.
Almost.
Look, man, I see, or should I say foresee, that I'm just the type of person that I don't like working at the same, or getting money, or getting a piece of value.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't like doing that at home.
Right.
And it's like, I don't think it should be. In this time, I've realized that there's been a transition to want to make certain functions, certain ideas just be something that you stay at home, you don't do nothing, you don't explore the land. Stay at home and get what you need to before it all goes out. And I just think that mentality is strange to me, because if we're all on the same planet, right? We all on the same planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the solution is to get and work and feed at the same place that you pay for. And it's like, it seems kind of counterproductive to stay in the same place and apparently feel like you progressing, or you getting, some kind of money or some kind of value. You getting some kind of income, as a human would put it.
Right.
And it feels like that transitional phase of, like, you've seen the show Black Mirror?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Transmissions
went out well with that one.
Yeah, the transmissions was good, and I think a lot of people got to witness how humans foresee their own path, and I think that's another thing that I'm speaking about. It's like, how are you going to foresee your path to be, we're going to make social values become the values. I mean, like, if you're going to stay at your house, make money, if it's through a social means, like you promoting something that you do, a service you do, but you don't gotta leave your house, and we bring it to you digitally.
Right.
It's like, some would say that's the dream. Some would say that's the transition a lot of people should make. But I just see myself falling into some kind of misery if I would do that to myself. Like,
I mean, that kind of stuff ain't for everybody. I'll tell you what. I mean, when it comes down to it, right? Like, this stuff like that, I can understand, because obviously not everyone can put up with the social aspect. But, like, if that's what you live by, right? Like if that's something that's like a part of your core value with all that kind of stuff, it prominates you, like, you know, at that point, you know, like, you gotta do what you gotta do, and just hope that you just have the power and the ability to do it, because, like, you know, between you and me, like, you know, I because I know you, bro, like, you know, you go out, you see your role, you make your moves, right? But me, I can't just kind of like sit here.
Hey, but the
But like
thing
that's
is
just
though,
the difference between, like, you know, because social interaction is a completely different thing to me when it comes to that. Um, when it, you know, it's like the term of the introvert and the extrovert. You know what I'm saying? But go on.
here's the thing though. The only reason I'm that way is, okay. So you just said that certain people, they just can't handle or it's not even handle. They don't even want to put up with others, the social aspect of having some kind of way to function. But you can never escape that. Let's just say that you can never
Well,
escape
yeah,
that, whether you inside or you can never
yeah,
escape that. You'll just have to get it in a different way. You know what I mean, or in
right.
different doses.
Like
But
even like, you know, you're talking to somebody.
But what this is really about, though, for me, is this is not speaking to the creative people. You know, creative people, they can stay at their place, and they stay at their place and they work, and that actually makes a lot of sense. I'm talking about doing regular work, but just
Right.
being inside. You know,
Right. Because I mean, you can imagine how that could, like, fuck with people, or just fuck with society a bit. You know what I'm saying?
and even if it doesn't mentally disturb anybody, I think it's gonna come to that point where people are gonna lose sight of, and this is maybe exaggeration,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, but people are gonna lose sight of what humanity means to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are people on that planet that have lost sight of it already. That's why certain people are here to have vision care. You know what I mean? Certain people are trying to bring. That's what a lot of creatives do, is they try to bring it back to Earth. You know, that's why a lot of creatives on Earth, you describe those people as, oh yeah, there's some down to earth people, because they're down to that point where they're just trying to remind you. You know what I mean? Like I would never try to rebrand. I would only try to remind. You know what I mean? I would only try to remind people about what humanity stands for. I'll put it like this: if everything shut off, right? Talking about internet,
Yeah.
talking about electricity, what would you do in a human's position? What would you do? I just want to hear. I want to hear what would you do?
You talking about asking me personally?
I got my own answer, but it connects to why I see it being very disturbing to work at home, because you're clearly trying to say, well, I'm gonna work through the internet. I'm gonna work through technology, because there's no other way to work from home other than the use of somebody
technology,
else's device.
Right. I would, I mean, so I guess if I would answer your question, I would have to also analyze the situation at hand. Yeah, like when it comes down to it, like, you know, all this technology, all that kind of stuff, it's fragile in comparison to everything else you could possibly be doing, you know, at all. Like, it's nice to be able to rely on this kind of stuff, right? But like, in the end of the day, this stuff just kind of like, you know, the solar chasm just decided to be like, yeah, we're just gonna switch all your shit off on your planet, bro. What you got to do? And I guess for me, it would just be like, I would just go back to shit that I don't need technology for. I probably, I mean, it's not that I would be any more social than I already am.
Oh, so that wouldn't change your
Well,
social values.
Because it's more of a instinct for me. It's not like something I'm choosing to do.
Oh, okay. Feel you.
It's like I prefer to
genuine.
keep to myself. And even in the times of the dark, people always kept to themselves. There are people, even before technology.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
truth be told, you are all you need.
Yeah. And in the end of the day, that's something that I was like, if I can't rely on myself, how could I feel like I can rely on anyone else?
That's a fact.
So I guess that's
that.
that's the best answer I could probably give you in a philosophical sense.
You know where I would be?
What would you do?
And this is something I thought about for a long time, because I've always because we had a point where we were alive to see humans without this level of technology.
Yeah.
This level.
Right.
And now it's all about how the levels keep rising. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get into it during the end. Don't think we forgot about that 5G. We got 5G. I got 5 on it.
Oh man, that was the funniest shit we ever discovered, bro. Like, what the fuck these people be doing out there? Oh man.
5G is radius. So what I would do is I would immediately link up with the people that I've connected with. Like,
right.
I would immediately go into a form of unification with a certain group of people. Like, I think that would trigger me to immediately want to restart the Black Panther movement. But that's a whole nother conversation about.
you went from 0 to 100 real quick.
But that's besides the point. I'm just saying it would be like, okay, let's formulate how we can continue flipping the page that was once closed, because people thought, oh, we're gonna forget about a certain period of time. It didn't happen, and we're gonna move on, or we passed that. But now I'm gonna pass the book back, and I would open the book again and start peeling back the layers of some of the skin that was, forgotten. You know what I mean? And I would go an immediate, for real, I would really immediately turn into. And the only reason, and it's crazy to think, this is the next point. That's what I would do. That's it. I'll end it there. But it's crazy to think that we wouldn't do that if we were still relying on this technology.
Right.
There's certain things we wouldn't do because the technology's there. I got to admit that there's certain ways you have to move. Humans have put themselves in a corner where it's like, since there's so much technology, and let's be real, right? Not all technology is. We're talking about cameras. That's really the big deal here, is that you're constantly being watched. You're constantly being paid attention to. Some people provoke this attention either for educational purposes, you know what I mean? Try to get the word out, pass the word. But you're still locked if you think about it, you know what I mean? You still got to log in, even if you want to pass the word. So it doesn't really change the circumstance, no matter where you go. So I was thinking, if there's no way to escape it, now we're gonna get into it. Really get the meat of the conversation. You know what I mean? You could toss the milk right out the, you know what I mean, at the bottom, up down, or whatever you drinking it. I don't see
what.
You could pour that. You could what? Wait a minute.
No, not the human container.
So you poured milk.
Not. It's like it looks like a cup, but like it's not.
No, wait, not.
It's made from plastic, bro.
What is that?
From a container. Yeah, it's like.
So you drinking?
It's like a hard plastic container.
From the plastic itself.
Yeah, well,
So if
I'm
this is
struggling.
not, by the way, if this is not evidence for everyone listening that we're living in the end of times. This man is drinking milk off a plastic. We're living at the end of times. You know what I mean? The scriptures have brought you there, you little humans. The scriptures have brought you there, so we're good. But y'all did a good job in erasing the real gods of the planet Ocean. Stand up, brada. But look, the real shit I wanted to get is because I wanted to get 5 on it. You installing 5G towers. Now let's get into technology on Earth, because we observe, but as we observe, we have to recognize certain mistakes that are being made, because maybe we've made these mistakes. I'll put an example. When the Aspalas try to correlate with the Velocis and try to bridge the gap with certain levels of technology. Did I just say that? Yeah, it just happened.
We gotta say what was on our mind. You know what I'm saying?
It just said that. You just said that.
You really just said that. Yeah.
Technological technology. Yo, it sounds good.
It sounds like a word. It sounds like it makes sense.
It sounds like a double entendre. It sounds like a double entendre.
You heard it here. That's the title of the video.
But we're not. Yeah, technological technology. But it's. Excuse me for not being. Well, not excuse me. Excuse me. But let me continue. When the Aspalas and the Velocis try to bridge that gap, I'm not too well versed on the technology that happened with, you know what I mean? Because I was never invested in it, because I knew there's no way to integrate shit. You gotta let people play their role on Razoria. Right. And it's the same thing with Earth. Think about it like this. Mm-hmm. On Earth, there's certain people that want to bridge the gap with technology. And there's this thing called 5G. Mm-hmm. And what technology is often mistaken for is a way to connect people. But in reality, there is always a cost to trying to connect people that are on different sides of a molecule, because that's what a planet is. It's a molecule. It's like trying to connect, for human terms, it's trying to connect the red blood cells with the white blood cells. You know what I mean? It's everyone's playing their role. There's no point to make a technology that connects one another. Only greed would lead you to want to connect. You know what I mean? People think a united planet is actually good. Well, humans have a united planet with technology.
Yeah, with technology is the most.
But yet they feel divided because they realize feeling a connection through technology is elusive.
Right. It doesn't actually solve the problem. Yeah.
We're still as far as we are. You know what I mean? Between each other. And if you mentally, notice the word mentally, are not connected with somebody, it doesn't matter if you are connected physically through a phone or a device. The vice of the situation is that people on Earth have a consistency of wanting to expand, but not internalize. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't internalize themselves and try to help and fix themselves. They have to fix everyone else. It's an outward projection. And that's why things like astral projection are actually something worth taking note of the Canetians that did astral projections and were focused on expanding the technology that's within. Right. There's a lot of technology that's actually already within you, because we are electrical. We are technology.
Yeah.
Humans are, if we are even comparing it to humans, we are all a technology piece of the planet. We are the domain of the planet. I mean, as far as we can see. If that's not true, that's not true. It is what it is.
At the end of the day, we were created. So, it's. I mean, if you can even look at like evolution by itself as being like the precursor of technology, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's a tool.
Yeah, technology is based completely on the brain.
So as technology evolves, let's get into 5G. This is have you peeped this or the planetary background? You didn't really get into that when it comes to Earth and they're dealing with.
I'm not too aware of certain things when it comes to.
So 5G is a technological advancement from what they've had called 4G.
Okay, apologies.
So they're trying to put 5 on it, but they're smoking that Indo weed. You know what I'm saying? They're high off their minds. This shit is not gonna function, right? This shit is not going to function.
Yeah.
Because look, radiation is real. Radiation is something that can affect humans very negatively, drastically, especially children. Right now, other day, I see this. Someone actually brought attention to me. You know, a fellow scholar. You know, I have that show that I go to.
Yeah.
And you know, in this we do research on Earth. You know, I mean, we do research. You know, I have to admit, we do a lot of research on Earth on my show.
It's really interesting how curious he's been on that.
He's been very curious, and he continues to be curious. I mean, you know, I just do my job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
right.
I just do my job.
Right.
You know what I mean, I just stick to doing that. I don't try to get into any scholar's business.
Yeah.
But he brought to my attention that there are certain people on Earth that are progressing and being innovative,
Mm-hmm.
but in reality are not really the actual face of the innovation. They're more of just the, how can I say this? They're more of the poster child. The poster child of, and he's a man though.
Right.
So I saw the video. He's more of a poster man.
Right.
Of a poster man that likes childs.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is Bill Gates is a rapist. No. Look, the man I'm speaking about is a very innovative technology man, right?
Right.
So humans want to insert a chip onto their bodies, right? And this chip is a photo ID.
For what?
An identification.
For what purpose would that mean?
This is where technology just loses purpose.
Don't they already have a physical element to identify?
So everything, the goal seems for humans to be everything that's physical, let's not make it physical. Let's make it digital. And it just, I don't know why they're so infatuated with this idea.
I mean, look, man, like, because
I've been doing the research, I can't figure it out. Like, well, there is nothing special about it. It's just not physical.
Right. I mean, like, I don't know, like, why they think. I don't know why.
And this is not the whole population. I'm not trying to speak for the whole population. You know, it's just off the base of my research.
I mean, I've seen, like, you know, it's just like those people have a weird fascination with technology that not even I've seen the Velocists have in such an account. Because, like, when it comes down to, like, the Velocists, for example, like, they've always been technologically advanced, but they understand one thing is that you know, if we just allow ourselves to be overly lazy, right? Like,
right,
you know, and
that's
be
always been
so,
our values,
if you're
though.
so convenient, how can you survive on the planet you live on? You know what I'm saying? That's always been like a very
no, because we, you know, technological, we allowed ourselves to advance to the point where we can still maintain our abilities to be a Velocist and play our role on the planet. Because like we just mentioned, we are a technology. We are electricity. We are part of where we were created on, just the planet. So you can advance technology so far as to the point you can still play your role on the planet.
Right.
You never want to disconnect yourself from the planet.
Right.
That's what really is my criticism, is that, well, look, if you're gonna make everything a virtual reality, right, and bring people into the world, you're gonna realize very quickly that you can't recreate the world while still being in it. And that's what technology, the whole purpose of it, after it loses its purpose to just help you, right? Because technology you can't say it's helping you just because it's doing something faster. Because then you lose the concept of, if somebody has to do something to get something done, right? There's really no purpose for that. That person can just say, you can just die, right? If you want to think that way, But if you want to follow your instincts are telling you to just do something, right? And get something done. And there's certain things that you want to get done, especially, let's go back to the scenario, like Tribe Called Quest. Like, if no technology was on, we would still want to do something. Right?
Yeah.
And let me take it a step further. If there were no books, let me take it all the way. If there were no books,
Right.
if everything was just gone, if it was really just the planet again,
Right.
and we were to restart, but still have the same knowledge that we have right now.
Right. Like we all survived current time.
We survived through
but
something.
All
right?
those things that we had just suddenly disappear. Yeah.
Like, where would we go from there? And the truth is, and the sad truth is, there's no way for humans to not. They have to learn fatally. They'll have to learn their mistakes. They have to learn it through fatality. Because it makes no sense if you know you're introducing a technology that's going to lower the population. If you know you're introducing a technology during a time where humans are, let's say, going through some kind of tribulation, whatever it may be.
Right.
If you're doing that, you're taking advantage of the human's mortality. Then you're also taking advantage of how the earth itself is giving you even the capability to breathe. Because people understand, oh yeah, we're just breathing on the planet. But no, the earth is giving you this.
It is a gift.
See, people don't understand that just because something is functioning a certain way doesn't mean that it wasn't functioning that way before. You know what I mean? Like, we are granted a time on this planet, Rayzoid. Same way humans are granted a certain time, but we've had a longer period of time, and we know we've made mistakes, and the mistakes that we've made have always been because of one thing. The main purpose every individual has, and every individual that's part of a group, has to be executed with the understanding that you will come to your demise, and you can destroy other people with your words and ideas. So you cannot interfere with other people's purpose, because there are different types of species and varieties that are on this planet, as I believe Earth has, but they're gonna grow into that realization at some point, that there are different types of humans, you may want to call it. I think what it race. Well, once you reach the end of that race, you realize the race was for nothing, and you weren't playing any divine game or spiritual game. You were playing the devil's game, if you want to call it, for them, for the sake of their, and you were playing it the whole time, and all you had to do is ignore. See, ignoring is difficult for humans. ignoring being like, well, if this technology is as harmful as it is, which it is, every time you put the radiation to the side of your face, it will create a tumor for the next baby that you introduce to the planet. It will create a tumor. This is not exaggerated research. And radiation can create cancerous effects to your body.
Right.
Not exaggerated research. It don't matter if they want to depopulate. All we have to do is stop. See, all they have to do is stop. The more we give criticism without action, the more we do that, because there's a lot of, the more we do that, the less time we'll have on any planet we're on.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of criticizing? Like, if people are really aware of certain things, they should speak with their actions. We are not going to utilize this technology in whatever place but that's where the options get limited, and that's where people really don't want to make that sacrifice. Do you see Earth? And like the majority of people, they're not gonna make that sacrifice. Even as I speak right now, I understand that all I'm doing is speaking into a void of people that either know what's going on or don't care.
Right, or maybe have already experienced it in the future.
Or exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like, oh yeah, he was right. So let's make something clear though to end this though.
Yeah.
Because I want to really come to a firm conclusion. I don't want to rob you of your time, to be honest with you. If Earth wants, and I want to hear your conclusion on all this too.
Okay.
For real.
I'm listening.
Because I don't want. If Earth wants to have a harmonious relationship with its species that's on the planet, it has to go through a destruction. And it has to be rebuilt. There's no turning back. The elements that have been destroyed, they've been destroyed already.
And you know what? And I'll put it too in a couple perspectives here, right? In Rizoria, I spoke about this before with you, and when it comes to our histories, that we've technically had an experience like that before during the cataclysm, and it obviously it wasn't gonna wipe all of us out, but in the end of the day, it still like reset us and made us kind of realize what the fuck we were doing this whole time. And sometimes people learn the hard way. And and it's also its own type of echo effect. If I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, I can only wish the best for them, because I really don't want them to have to experience a cataclysmic effect. I'll be honest with you. But if that's the only way for them to actually have an echo effect strong enough to push them back in the right direction, then it's got to be done.
What is the right direction?
I feel like I feel like at least for them, they gotta stop worrying about them. See, they gotta stop only caring about themselves and looking towards the forward momentum. Worrying about your echoes, but also worrying about other people's echoes. Worrying about making a plan B. Because we know if there's no plan B for their entire species. Once they, destroy themselves in their own vices, right? All they're gonna do is just they won't have another way to go. There's no other place to retreat. At least when we had a cataclysmic effect, we were still looking forward to something else. There was always something more to do. especially thanks to the Colossus and the Pernumuses. But like when I've been looking at humans, it's just like it's as if they work like ants. Like the whole world, one section of the world doesn't just decide to do something separate if the other half of the world isn't doing that same thing too. Like all of a sudden nobody on the planet wants to go into space or try to transmit or communicate, because we haven't gotten anything from them for a while.
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, look, this brings me back to a conversation I had at work, just, at my function. I really I realized that, as much as research I can do, and I've been able to travel, you can never expose, because there's still a level of arrogance humans have right now. It's not that they don't have the technology. Here's another extension of my conclusion, real quick though. Technology's not bad. It's all about how you use it. Just like with everything. I hear you. But more importantly, where you aim your technology at. Like you just said, space exploration, like, it's still surprising that that's not the aim. Even when it was the aim, it was really a competitive aim.
Yeah, it was because one side of the world was doing it, so the other half. It was never
a genuine, unified aim, as if we're not all, as if they don't have all the same intention.
Right.
Like that was one of the easier moments to unify, and yet couldn't. Because once again, they was thinking about themselves. Like, okay, once we go out, we're just gonna point things that are gonna point in. Like what they did with satellites and all that.
Right.
Instead of a continuous extension.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't it be more useful to have satellites on other planets? I don't know why.
Yeah. What's the issue there, right? Like,
it's like, oh well, we'll start with ourselves. Well, of course. So once you stop starting with yourself, you will actually get to understand yourself a lot more. Just, I guess the most, comedic thing about all this is that it's actually the selfishness that's not allowing people to get to know themselves a lot more thoroughly, not just superficially. But I'll end by saying this. Humans are not the most advanced civilization on the universe. Dumbass up.
I mean, if it's not already obvious enough.
Die.